Grab. Do you ever see a situation where Grab could go into developed markets outside of Asia, or even Gojek?
Well, so I think if you look at the first point in regards to Africa, the interesting point there, which around the mobile networks, and you'd say actually it's the same with the transport companies here, is there was a vacuum that needed to be filled. You know, I always love being back in Australia and hearing the words from the old traditional taxi companies of how dare you know, they're taking the market that's ours. And it's like, well, there was a gap. There was a significant vacuum in that market that needed to be filled, and it was filled very rapidly. So that filling that market doesn't mean that there are other vacuums in that same sort of area. So that lack of communications at the price point that was needed in Africa, or the banking component especially, it wasn't at the same level in other countries. So you haven't really seen it roll back too far into other markets. In Asia, do I think that Grab and Gojek, for example, will expand beyond their boundaries and their borders? You're already seeing it, obviously, with Grab and Gojek moving into different markets around Asia. Will they go into the US? I don't know. You've got some pretty dominant forces there with Lyft and Uber, obviously. I don't know whether or not you'll find that.
Yeah, I think that's true. It depends. You know, there's probably enough competitive energy in the US to probably force them, or to make them inclined not to do that, because it would be an expensive process, because you've got Lyft and Uber, and you've got a couple of others who are solving the logistical or transport problems at the moment, and there's enough market there. If they had a really well-defined business case, perhaps extended on that, which was unusual to the US, or they'd solve somewhere else, maybe that'd be interesting. I'm not sure, but you know, I find it really interesting, you know, going back to the fact that Ola Cabs has gone into Australia.
Right.
And obviously there's only Uber really in Australia, because there was a very small local incumbent that didn't get to scale. So you've only got Uber in that market at scale, and there's definitely there's no price competition or price pressure on Uber really. So I think that's healthy for the market. It'll be interesting to see if they've got the capital and the patience to continue to discount to disrupt it
To the same level.
Yeah.
You know, the one